I wasn't eating salad. She wasn't studying at all. He wasn't running fast. They weren't working hard. I wasn't exercising today. She wasn't cooking dinner. He wasn't fixing his bike. We weren't cleaning the room. The dog wasn't sleeping yet. I wasn't listening to her. She wasn't taking selfies. He wasn't drinking coffee. They weren't practicing enough. I wasn't texting him. She wasn't laughing at jokes. He wasn't watching TV. We weren't talking much. The cat wasn't playing outside. I wasn't thinking clearly. She wasn't driving carefully. He wasn't dancing at the party. They weren't singing loudly. I wasn't walking fast. She wasn't buying anything. He wasn't helping at all. We weren't joking around. The baby wasn't crying anymore. I wasn't shouting at you. She wasn't sleeping well. He wasn't writing properly. They weren't enjoying the trip. I wasn't lying to you. She wasn't reading the book. He wasn't planning anything. We weren't preparing well. The dog wasn't barking much. I wasn't looking at you. She wasn't waiting for me. He wasn't calling her. They weren't swimming today. I wasn't eating healthy food. I was secretly finishing a whole pizza by myself. She wasn't studying for her exam. She was watching makeup tutorials and pretending to take notes. He wasn't running on the treadmill. He was just standing there texting and looking exhausted. They weren't working on the project. They were discussing their weekend plans for 2 hours. I wasn't exercising in the gym. I was taking selfies in front of the mirror to prove I was there. She wasn't cooking dinner. She was just staring at the fridge, hoping food would magically appear. He wasn't fixing the car. He was just poking random parts and looking confused. We weren't cleaning the house. We were just moving things around to make it look tidy. The dog wasn't sleeping peacefully. He was snoring so loudly that the neighbors could hear him. I wasn't listening to the teacher. I was mentally planning what to eat after class. She wasn't taking notes in the meeting. She was doodling cats all over her notebook. He wasn't drinking a healthy smoothie. He was drinking soda straight from the bottle. They weren't practicing for the competition. They were busy arguing about who would go first. I wasn't texting my friend about an emergency. I was sending memes at 2 a.m. She wasn't laughing at the joke. She was just being polite so her friend wouldn't feel bad. He wasn't watching a documentary. He was just using it as background noise to fall asleep. We weren't talking about anything serious. We were just debating if pineapple belongs on pizza. The cat wasn't playing with its toys. It was knocking things off the table for fun. I wasn't thinking about work. I was daydreaming about winning the lottery. She wasn't driving carefully. She was singing along to the radio like she was in a music video. He wasn't dancing at the party. He was just jumping up and down pretending he had rhythm. They weren't singing in harmony. They were just screaming the lyrics at the top of their lungs. I wasn't walking to exercise. I was walking because I missed the bus. She wasn't buying anything useful. She was filling her cart with things she didn't need. He wasn't helping with the dishes. He was standing there holding a single spoon. We weren't joking about being tired. We were actually exhausted and regretting our life choices. The baby wasn't crying because he was hungry. He was crying because his toy was slightly out of reach. I wasn't shouting at my brother. I was just explaining things very passionately. She wasn't sleeping peacefully. She was snoring so loud it sounded like a chainsaw. He wasn't writing an essay. He was staring at the blank page for hours. They weren't enjoying the road trip. They were stuck in traffic for 5 hours. I wasn't lying to my mom. I was just giving her a slightly edited version of the truth. She wasn't reading a book. She was just flipping through the pages, pretending to look smart. He wasn't planning his future. He was watching funny videos on his phone. We weren't preparing for the test. We were busy watching Netflix and hoping for a miracle. The dog wasn't barking at an intruder. He was barking at his own reflection. I wasn't looking at my phone. I was just pretending to avoid eye contact with someone. She wasn't waiting for the bus. She was daydreaming and missed it completely. He wasn't calling his boss. He was pretending to be on the phone to avoid talking to people. They weren't swimming for exercise. They were just splashing each other like kids. I wasn't doing yoga. I was just lying on the mat and calling it meditation. She wasn't exercising seriously. She was just walking around the gym holding a water bottle. He wasn't mowing the lawn. He was sitting on the grass watching YouTube videos. We weren't painting the house. We were painting each other's faces for fun. The parrot wasn't repeating what I said. He was making up his own nonsense. I wasn't replying to emails. I was staring at them hoping they would answer themselves. She wasn't decorating the cake. She was eating all the frosting. He wasn't solving the math problem. He was just guessing and hoping for the best. We weren't fixing the TV. We were just smacking it and hoping it worked. The kids weren't doing their homework. They were negotiating for more screen time.